There?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh shit! Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? This is episode 10, I believe. Chugg probably correct me if I'm wrong, but so what you been up to, man?
Manos.
Dos manos aquí.
Man, getting my steps up. In the couple thousands club, getting my steps up. Trying to get flaquito.
Flaquito, nice.
Yeah,
Don't get too flaquito, man. You're gonna disappear.
Yeah, we eat a lot of food though, so it's okay. What you been up to, man?
Not much, man. I've been writing a lot lately. Been working on videos. I actually started the Specialized Stump Jumper review, which is the bike that I was a loaner for me from the Dirt Therapy Project. Shout out to the Dirt Therapy Project. I borrowed one of their bikes because my Diamondback was offline, if you will. The parts hadn't come in for my Öhlins fork that I bought off a friend of mine, and it was leaking fluid. So I ordered the parts, and of course we're in this pandemic, so it took a while to get here. But luckily they had a bike in the stable, if you will, and they actually lent me and my wife one, and we actually had the same bike, of course, different sizes. But yeah, man, I'm doing that video right now. It's actually coming out pretty legit, dude. I wasn't that motivated, if I'm being honest, to work on it, just because I really didn't know which way it was gonna go. Like I kind of just let it, like the process happen when I'm making it, and I'm liking it, man. I'm liking the way it came out. I'm using some music from Push.Audio. I think one's called Guillotine.
Shout out to Push.Audio.
Shout out to Push.Audio.
One of your clips. Yeah, it was on one of your clips. I need to get that in there. It was some Chevy music or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I roll a Chevy, so I need that in my rotation.
Yeah, that's a good song, dude. I like that song. It's chill, dude.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And it worked out nice on that video, too, the one I used it on. I don't even remember which one I used it on, but yeah, man. It was actually, I think it was the last one, wasn't it? It was like Dia de Sesh or something. No, that was...
Yeah, no, it was your most recent one, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So... is that the one that looked like Dia de los Muertos?
Exactly. Yep, that one.
Okay, sweet, dude. Yeah, man, it ended up working out. I had a lot of fun doing it. And it's what's crazy about it is I didn't even plan to make a video. I just kind of recorded. I was trying like a different angle. But then the mount that I had on my handlebars was rattling, so I couldn't really use the audio. And I was like, man, we have some good footage though, like from like all the sessioning we're doing. So I was like, I'm just gonna put music to it and kind of, has some audio but not really, kind of drowned out with the music. It ended up working out so good.
And it just so happens, Ill spit well. So
it just so happens, yeah, man. And
happens.
I've known that cat for a while now too. He's a good dude. He's real chill and is very thoughtful, and he's a good dude, man. I've appreciated their music for a while now. I actually met him in Korea, but yeah, man, I think we talked about it on that last episode when we had him on.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, just writing and then working on these videos. I actually have to send my GoPro in because when I was at Spider Mountain recently, which is they have a lift access where you don't have to ride up. You can just take it to the top and then ride down all day. I ended up crashing. I actually posted that on Instagram today, and my camera it was on top of my head. I looked like a damn Teletubby. That's what I felt like. Anyways, but I crashed, and that bitch went flying. And it's now when I record it, you can hear on the audio, you can hear the camera like focusing in and out. So you hear like zzz, 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 and it's annoying.
That's no bueno. So, but stitches or no stitches or nothing from the
no. I'm actually.
Anything.
I think I got a bruise on my shoulder and maybe some scratches on my arm, but other than that, it was good. I was wearing all my protective padding, so it worked out. It worked out good.
There you go. Got to keep that on. That's a part of the lifestyle.
Especially if you got a name like, Crash and 50/50. So, yeah, man, got to wear it.
Makes sense.
How about you? Have you done any writing recently?
No, actually, I haven't, man. It's been really rainy here the past couple weeks, so no too many outdoor activities. I ain't been fishing or get my golf swing in or nothing really.
Well, you can still get your golf swing in. You just can't hit any balls or nothing, but you can still try to work on it.
Yeah,
You should get some of those. You can go to Walmart and get the little wiffle balls, the little golf wiffle balls, and you can just hit them in your backyard. That's always fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't go that far. You know what I mean? And you can still get that hand-eye coordination going.
Yeah, I'm still working on my muscle memory. I'm terrible. Like it still feels awkward when I, swing. So.
Yeah. Damn. Well, it'll come, man. Just keep practicing. You can probably watch some videos on YouTube or whatever, like golf swing or whatever. But another bad thing that happened to me this week, we went for an urban ride. Actually, went for 2 urban rides that day. That's just riding around the city. But when I went again, we were kind of just riding around. When I say we, my wife and I, we went for a ride just around here. And you know those grates that go over, like, the grates that go over the sidewalk, like and it's in a flood zone when the water's rushing through. There's grates in the place where the water goes through.
Yeah.
Somebody took them off, and I forgot about it on the way back, and I was hauling ass on the sidewalk. I saw it at the last second, and I tried to bunny hop over it at the last second, but I just caught the rear tire, and it bent my fucking wheel, dude. It like bent it.
I saw that picture to where like, yeah. So what do you think caused it? You didn't have enough pressure in your tire. Your PSI wasn't high enough.
I had a lot of pressure. I probably could have had a little bit more, maybe a few more, and that probably would have saved it. But I even had a tire insert, and what a tire insert is, it goes in. It's like a piece of dense foam that goes inside the tire. So whenever you do bottom out, it's an extra added layer of protection, so it doesn't bend your rim and saves your wheel. But I hit it so hard, it was a steel lip, so there was no give, and bam, dude, my tires was just spraying out a sealant. I had to leave my wife there. I took her bike, which is a size small, and I hauled ass home. It was like 5 miles to the house, so it ended up turning into a training sesh. I hauled ass all the way home. Got the car, and then went to go pick her up and then I went to go pick up my bike with her, and then we went home. But
so let me ask you this: do you think she could have made it home faster than you could have?
No. Well, no. Maybe now, because the other day we went for another ride. We went through the missions, which is like the Spanish missions here in San Antonio, which are pretty cool. There's like 5 or 4 of them, and you can just ride, and they connected it through along San Antonio River, which most missions they set up by the rivers anyway, the water source. Mm-hmm. And so you just ride along, and they connected them all. And so, but my point is that she was like just zooming by me because I was just chilling, cruising, and then I heard she has like really wide tires. So you just hear, and I turn over and I'm like, damn, man. So she was like, so maybe now, I don't know. She's getting the confidence up. So that's cool, man. It's cool to see that fire kind of growing in her and something that when she first started, and as most viewers that are listening, they're just starting mountain biking, or people that recall when they first started mountain biking, there's like a lot of sketchiness when you're riding, you kind of don't want to go over the bars. You don't want to, there's all of these things that go through your head. You know what I mean?
I'm already going through that in my head, and I haven't even started really yet mountain biking. Yeah. So, yeah. So
I mean, but you're doing street riding, which is going to is going to carry over. Maybe not a lot, but it's going to be like because I just started riding on the trails for the most part. I did a little bit of street riding, but I was like, no, I want to get to the trails because I couldn't wait because I was impatient. But having said that, so her confidence is building. She's doing like 3-4 foot drops now, just kind of off of like a ledge. Boom, that's a drop. She's actually doing a jump class at a place here that one of the guys I know, he runs Seguin Mountain Bike Skills Park, which is in Seguin, Texas, which is about an hour from here. And she's doing that. And they built progressive jumps there in the sense of it starts off with maybe like a little like drop, kind of gets you used to being in the air. And then there's like gap jumps, maybe like a small, well, not even a gap jump. It's like a jump, but it's got like a table on it. So in case you don't make it, you can still hit it. But goal
like
is to
a big ramp
right
next to another ramp.
exactly. So the goal is to hit it, go over the table, like not land on the table, but go over it and hit the transition. That's like the proper jump. You know what I mean? So, but then they have gap jumps too. So the gap jump is there's a gap in between. So you have to have enough speed to get over it. So that class is going to take her through those progressions, those skills, and I mean it's pretty low fee, and she signed up for it on her own, and like trust me, dude, when she first started, she didn't want to do any type of be in the air at all. So it's cool to see that, man, to see that drive and to see her push through, and I think Angel Fire had a lot to do with that.
I didn't even know that was a thing where you can get classes on pretty much how to instruct you on, how to take jumps and
Right
and all that stuff. I just
there
thought
is,
it was.
yeah, and there are classes like that, and I'm pretty sure you could try to seek them out if you wanted to. But I know some classes, like depending who's doing them, because there's some organizations that's their job. They go around the United States and they post on social media like, "Hey, we're gonna be here." I'm trying to think of one well-known one. It's like trail ninjas or something like that. Anyways, they go around and then they give classes and they give very detailed class. But these guys have been writing for years, so they have the experience and everything to do that. But having said all that, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. But for those of you folks listening, yeah, we're kind of just doing this. Like some of the things we're going to talk about today is if you're just starting mountain biking and you want to, like, get on the trails and start getting adventurous, like, but before you get out and start doing that, and Chugg could probably tell you some of his experiences. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Like, what did you learn about you going on the trails and not having the proper stuff?
Well, first things first, if you're going to a new destination and you're going to ride, definitely map it out. So you be kind of familiar where you're going to be riding at. Because if not, it might end up with, maybe some stitches or maybe you pulling some gravel out of your skin. So that's my thought on that.
Is that what happened to you?
Yeah, I went on a trail that I thought I was familiar with, and it was a heavily inclined part of the trail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the brakes didn't grip, and it was a sharp 90-degree turn that I couldn't make, and I just did a little tuck and roll, tuck and roll.
Coming in too hot, huh?
Yeah, way too hot.
So mapping, there are some apps that you could use to map out a lot of the trails. Most common used trails are on maps or on apps, I should say, apps of maps. Three of them that come, apps of maps. So three of me personally, I started using them when I first started, but I like to think that I have a pretty good sense of direction when it comes to like riding or driving. So I'm usually pretty good about finding my way back. I just kind of pick out landmarks and I find my way back. Having said that, I wouldn't do it like if I was going to Colorado or somewhere where like it's going to be like, I'm talking about like you're going to be like riding 30 miles into the wilderness, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Like
that's kind of different.
So if you're going to do stuff like that, or even if you're not a person that is really good about finding your way back or finding your way around fairly quickly, there's a few apps that you can use. One of them is called Trail Forks. Trail Forks, I believe, is free, and you can download it on Apple or Android or any other device. I think they're available on all platforms. And so if you're about to do a trail, I would go on there, or you could go to all trails, and I'll put like a little link right here. Or MTB Project. MTB Project's a free one. I want to say that REI, I could be misspeaking, but REI is like an outdoor adventure store. They sell like rappelling gear and all these different things. But I think they
sell bikes there too.
They sell bikes there as well. Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're actually pretty good cost too. Like their REI co-op bikes are I've seen them and they come with fairly good components. If it's a good entry level bike. They also, I think they do like payments, like, well, I think even bike shops do that too, where you can like,
Put it on credit.
credit on credit and pay it off with a X amount of time. So Trailforks, All Trails, and MTB Project are 3 apps that you can use. And before you're going in, you can go on your phone, and if you are on the trail, you could start it and it links up with your GPS. And then once you get started and you get lost, you can just reference that, and you can find your way back or where you want to go. It could also show you the trails or what have you. There are some other ones like such as Strava, but Strava you have to pay for. Strava will also, I believe, these apps as well, but they'll also log how fast you're going, where you went, and how long you rode. So those are cool if you want to track like you were talking about earlier, your steps. You were saying you're kicking ass at steps lately.
Yeah.
15,000.
Yeah, someone else was telling me about Strava too. That's how they track it, but I didn't know you had to pay for it though.
You can. There are some like you don't have to pay for all the so. It's some of the features are free. Like so, if you just want to ride and you want to link up with other people that are in your contacts, like if you want to link up with me, and I will be able to see you like when you ride, you can post like a little or like put pictures in there. So there are some parts of the app that you can use. But if you want to use the beacon feature, which is like if you're out and you want to let your significant other, your family, or whoever know that, hey, this is like, here's a link. You can shoot a link to that person, or it shoots a link to that person, and they can track where you're at in case you go down or something happens. Okay. Yeah, they can go find you. Because that is, and that's going to lead into where else we're going to talk about, because that is a real issue is if first responders don't know where you're at and they don't know how to get to you.
How they gonna find you?
Yeah, like here in San Antonio, the trails aren't marked very well. So first responders, like they're starting to like name all the trails. Not first responders aren't, but there are like organizations such as Storm, which is San Antonio off-road mountain bikers or some shit. They're going out and putting signs. They do some trail maintenance and what have you. And then I'm not sure if they communicate. I'm actually going to try to get one of them on here so we could talk to them because I want to know more about that organization and what they do and how, maybe I can get involved depending if I see what they're doing and what have you, just kind of get to more about that. But if you get hurt or anything like that and the first responders don't know how to get to you, that's another way you could do that. It's like anything. If you're going on a hike or if you're going anywhere like off the grid, you want to let people know where you're going because if something happens to you, then you're pretty much SOL because nobody knows you're there unless it's a pretty common trail. Have you seen that movie? Was it 72 Hours or with James Franco?
Is that the one where dude had to like pretty much almost cut his arm off or something to get off?
He did cut his arm off.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that actually when I was deployed. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I think it's called like 72 Hours or something like that. But yeah, he got pinned. He was hiking, and a boulder he fell or something, and the boulder pinned his arm, and he had to use his Swiss Army knife to saw on it and saw his own fucking arm off. Yeah, I mean
that's tough.
But I mean, if you want to survive, you never know what you're capable of until you're in that situation.
Facts, right? Facts.
So going back to being prepared for what you're about to get into, if you just started riding or if you've just been riding for a little bit, you want to keep in mind you want to set yourself up for success. So you want to look at the weather. The weather is a big one. You don't want to get caught in a storm. Have you got caught in any storms yet?
Not a storm, but I got caught in the rain a couple times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't cold or nothing, but not to affect my ride because I turned around as soon as it started coming down, and by the time I got to my vehicle, it was good timing. So it was cool. You ever got caught in the rain?
I have got caught in the rain, but I mean it was just like a passing through shower. It wasn't anything crazy because I look at the weather. That's one thing I'm avidly look at is the weather. So on the other side of that is like in Texas or even Kansas is heat. So you want to keep
stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated, exactly. So if you're gonna go out, take a water bottle. some trail systems, they have at the trailhead, they'll have like a place you can refill your water bottle. But if that's not the case and you know you're going to be out riding for a while, you might want to invest in a hydration pack. Hydration pack you can get at Walmart for like $25 and under, I think. And I mean,
what does that consist of? I've never heard of that before. Personally.
It's a Camelback, really. That's all it is.
Okay.
Camelback. Yeah, we know it as a Camelback, but for the most people out there, I would imagine they're like, I mean, I guess everybody knows what a Camelback is, but it's just kind of proprietary to that company.
Okay.
But yeah, and so the hydration pack or a Camelback, you can put other stuff in there as well, like snacks. You want to probably take like a couple of Clif bars or some, maybe just something that will kind of keep your energy up, because when you're riding, you're going to be expending a lot of energy. So you want something to replace those carbs or that energy to sustain you through your ride, because muscle cramps are highly likely, or highly possible, I should say. And if you don't want to get one of those, and you don't have anything to back it up, because it's gonna be a long walk home.
Potassium is great. You can maybe even throw a banana in your bag or something, like a little snack with the water.
Yeah, some people they take a banana with them, or I've even seen people get fancy with it. They'll make like a peanut butter sandwich, and then they'll throw banana slices in there. And it's kind of like a quick like snack you can eat on the go. You can take pickles. Pickles are good for cramps, muscle cramps. I believe it's the sodium in them that helps you with muscle cramps. Or pickle juice. There's actually a company called Pickle Juice, and they sell like little vials of pickle juice. It's okay tasting. I think I would
learn new stuff every day.
Yeah, man, pickle juice. There's also Clif Bar or Clif. They make little blocks that you can. They're like maybe 6. I wish I had some up here, but they're like little blocks. You eat 2 of them. They have caffeine. They have all potassium. They have all these the little things that you need to sustain you on your ride, especially like if you're riding in the heat in the summer. So a hydration pack. Definitely have water in there. You could also throw, if you want to get fancy with it, you could throw some like the little tablets into in the hydration pack, and they fizz, and it puts the electrolytes already in your water, so you're not have to carry like a Gatorade or anything. So yeah, they sell the little tabs.
Soaking up all this knowledge.
Yeah, man, these are kind of just coming to me. And I know we talked about what we were going to talk about earlier, and these are kind of just coming to me as we're talking. So we covered snacks, hydration pack or Camelback. We got pickle juice. Go ahead.
What would you say? Like some things that, like the top 5 things a person should do prior to all of that, even before even getting on a bike? What would you say? Like recommendations?
So recommendations before even getting it, I wouldn't just. Okay. So set yourself up for success in the sense of, if you're going to go out for your first ride and you haven't done any physical activity in a long time, I recommend that you go for a short ride. You know, like set attainable goals, if you will. It's like anything else. You don't want to be like, I'm going to go do 25. Like, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and you've never ran before and you're going to go do a marathon. Do you know what I mean? So
you got to set those milestones. You know?
Exactly. So the first time you go out, of course, know where you're going. Plan for success. So like some kind of snack, some type of water, some type of, you can find all this stuff at Walmart or REI or the bike shop or
some type of fuel for your body.
Exactly. Have a phone on you in case you go down, or some way to communicate with somebody, so you can, even if you don't do all those things, you can at least call somebody, and then they can ping your phone to see where you're at. Worst case scenario. So setting up the small goals. So if you're gonna go out, like, hey, I'm gonna go out and do 2 miles today, or just take it easy, going with the idea, like, and pace yourself. Definitely pace yourself. Especially if you've never ridden before, you don't want to be doing like some skill stuff that you're just way out of your comfort zone. Because if you go down, you're gonna probably go down hard.
Yeah, or even if it's not even skill stuff, like if you just street riding and you go off too far, you got to remember you got to ride back. So, keep that in mind as well.
Exactly. No, that's a good point. So you're like, oh man, I can keep going. I've already done 5 miles. I'm gonna do another 5. But like, yeah, but you still got to go back for another 5 miles.
Exactly.
So whenever you go out, you got to come back. So keep that in mind too. Don't be afraid to stop. Take a rest. I had to do that. The first time I went riding, it was when I first got my bike. I went riding to a CrossFit gym that we used to go to. Maybe it's like 6 miles from here. And I took off like at 2 in the afternoon. I don't know if I said this before. And I rode there through the streets, the small streets. Dude, like 2 miles in, I was dying. I was like in the street, not in the street, but on the corner somewhere, like by someone's house. I'm over my bike. I had water, I had everything, I had my phone, but I just had to take a break, dude. I was not in biking shape at all. My legs are done.
And there's nothing to be ashamed about that.
No, there isn't.
Like you got to do that. You got to listen to your body. You don't want to be riding and then just black out and fall.
Yeah. So that's what I did. Like, so take breaks if you need to. Find some shade, sit down, chill out for a minute, kind of just collect your thoughts, come up with a plan, and then just keep, either head back or, if you feel like you can go a little bit further and go a little bit further, then head back. But definitely, be aware of that. Again, moderation is everything. Even if you're skilled and you ride all the time, and you got to listen to your body. If it's not feeling right, then you know what I mean? Moderation is key.
This is true. However, Bianca is the name of my street bike. We have never walked. Like, it wasn't like a hill. It's too tough. I got to get off. We have never in possession of me having that bike. I've never done that in my life.
Okay. Well, that's good.
It's a pride thing, I guess, for me. I don't. It's a pride thing. It's too many gears for me to walk.
Yeah, that's true. What do you have? 21, right?
Yeah.
21 gears. Yeah, if you use them right, man, that's what I tell everybody too. Don't be afraid of the gears. I think some people have the mentality that they have to push through it, and they think they're weak if they have to go to the easy gears. These are people I've ridden with before. Some people, not all people, and they try to stay in their hardest gear the whole time, and they're just spent maybe an hour into the ride. I'm like, well, the gears are your friends. You're supposed to use them.
That's what they're made for.
Yeah, I use every gear. I ain't gonna lie, I use every gear. Yeah. Some other things that will sustain you in your riding is if you do other things like for physical activities such as either like weights or weightlifting or anything like that. Running just gets your cardio up.
Little bit of yoga never hurts.
Yep. Yoga is huge, or any type of stretching. I need to start doing it more because, especially when you're riding for a while, you're in like one position. I don't want to say one position, but you're just in a compromised position most of the time. Your legs are you're sitting down, you're moving forward, but your hips are constantly I don't know. I'm trying to create something. There we go. So this is your back right here, and then these are your legs, and your hips are right here. So you're constantly in this position. So your muscles, what do they call it? Your hip flexors will, from cycling quite a bit, will start stiffening up and tightening up. I sometimes have issues with it, and those hip flexors will work their way down and up from wherever they're and start affecting your lower back, that causes me lower back pain.
Oh.
Yeah, so just within time that will be an issue if you do not start, and especially the older you get, you're not as a young buck like you used to be.
Not a spring chicken anymore.
Not a spring chicken. They got some chickens next door though. Might be some spring chickens. Like that.
Summer chickens. They got chickens.
Summer chicken. Hey, those bitches are gonna be cooked, man, because they're like the sun's hitting on them. I don't know. I haven't seen the setup, but I see where the sun comes up, and I don't know, man. They're gonna be slow cooked, rotisseried. So some things that I do. I said do. So something I do is that benefits me and it helps me, and we've had Dr. Guidedo on the show before, is acupuncture. I mean, you can choose to believe if it works or not. I mean, it's up to you. I've tried many methods of different modalities as far as trying to like help my body heal, what have you, and that is benefited me quite a bit. I actually just went 2 days ago. I went in for my knees because my knees were starting to bother me from riding. My elbows were bothering me, so I went in, told them what's up. Like I didn't tell them what's up. I was just like, hey, can you see me for this
Hey,
stuff?
what's up, cuz?
Hey, what's up, man? You know what to do. Nah, but I went in and he hooked it up, and he actually even put some oil that he had to relax me, and he put it on my ears, dude. Like within like 2 or 3 minutes of him doing it, I was like falling asleep. Maybe because he was touching my ears. I'm not sure. Maybe he found the spot. I don't know. But I do feel it was the oil because I could smell it. It was like an essential oil, and it just kind of put me in like in a relaxed state. And I felt like $1,000,000 when I left there. I was tired as hell.
You don't know if your ears are your spot? What do you mean?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying like I'm not saying my spot. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Yeah, that'd be a weird spot though. That'd be a weird spot. You know,
my ears, girl. Yeah,
get on those ears. You know, just do me like Dumbo.
Rub my cartilage.
Rub my cartilage. Another thing I started doing recently is I started a while back, but it was like Wim Hof. Wim Hof is a crazy Dutch guy. He I believe I mentioned him before, but he talks about he pretty much adapted something called holotropic breathing. It's pretty much like like hard breathing, like 30 reps, and then on the last one, you exhale. You hold your breath for as long as you can, and then you inhale when you're ready to inhale, and you hold like. Take it all the way in and hold it for like 15 seconds. When you do that, you push on your belly, like start tapping on your throat, your forehead, the top of your head, and the back of your neck. And it's trippy how you do 3 rounds of that, and it's trippy how you feel because it almost feels like you're hyperventilating, but you're not. And you just kind of when you're done with those 3 rounds, you just feel like so relaxed, so like chill, so in the zone. And then,
so are you supposed to do like as soon as you wake up, or like before you go to sleep?
You could do it either or. You could do it 1 in the morning and 1 at night. Or you could do 3 times a day if you wanted to. You could do 3 rounds. Some do 5 rounds. Like the longer you do it, like you might have to extend it. But afterwards, it's recommended to take a cold shower, and that's the one thing I've been doing. I come back from a bike ride. And I do that those breathing exercises, and then I jump in. I've gotten to the point where I can just jump in the cold shower now. I used to hate cold showers. For me, it was the hotter the better. But if my skin was like falling off, okay, that's extreme. If my skin was like red,
welting from the bird.
If it looked like I had leprosy, I knew it worked. No, but like. So I've gotten to the point where I can take a cold shower now, and it's crazy when I do it in the morning. I wake up so like I feel like just refreshed and ready to go, and that's took a while. Like I kind of worked my way up from, so I would kind of put the shower like where it normally was hot or whatever, and I kind of just started working the handle over to the colder each shower, and then I kind of acclimated myself, and I kind of give my brain a reference point. A reference point is that of when I was in New Hampshire with my kids. We went to a place in the White Mountains. It was called Echo Lake. And it was in the summer, it was in August, not knowing that much about the Northeast or what have you. My dumb ass thought I thought the water would be a little cooler, but this place used to be a glacier, right? So, and it's on the top of the, like the start of the White Mountains, so it's not at the peak of them, but it's up there. and it was in August. It was pretty warm outside, and I was like, hey, like I like to do things like last minute, not last minute. I like to do things like spur of the moment,
Spontaneous.
spontaneous.
Nothing wrong with that.
So we went that day. My kids and I, my wife, we went hiking through like ain't old, but like it's where a glacier used to be. It melted, and then now there's crevices and caves and stuff you can crawl through. So after that, we went to this Echo Lake. You know, it was hot. We were all dirty, so we went. And then we just jumped in. Dude, this water was so fucking cold. It was probably like it felt like 60 degrees maybe. But to me, it was cold.
But how hot? What is it outside?
It was probably like 86 degrees. Maybe like it was like
that
87.
Would be a body shock. That would be a big body shock.
But like my kids even got in too, and they were in there for a little bit, and then they got out. And my wife was there with the towels already and everything. But I stayed in there, so that's my reference point. Because like I'm like there's no way that this tap water is colder than that. So I kind of like mentally prepare myself, like, you know, before I do it, and that works. It works out a lot because what your mind accepts is what it is. You know what I mean?
True. Your mind is pretty much gonna set the limits of, you know, what you're gonna be acceptable to.
Right. And what the cold water is really good for, I think it's called cold ketones, and that helps with your immune system as well. So it's just a byproduct. It's a side effect of it, a positive side effect of it. And then there's also hot ketones. I believe it's what it's called. And if somebody can correct me in the comments, I think I'm right. I'm pretty sure I'm right. You can more than willingly look it up. And so I do one or the other. In the morning, I do a cold shower. And then at night, I do a hot shower, and vice versa, like depending on the day or what I feel like. And those cold and hot ketones actually helps your immune system in today's environment with, you know, Corona or whatever. This will,
COVD.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You gotta do what's gonna protect you. You know what I mean. You gotta you have to put the power back within your hands because it's always been there. You just we always give it up to somebody else. We always give it up to a doctor. We always give it up that power to somebody else, and
it was just so easy and accessible. You know, I don't want to figure it out. I'll tell somebody else what to tell me how to live.
Right.
Stay living. But now,
I know. Yeah, man. And the powers are all within you. Within you. You just have to do the research on your own. You have to start asking the questions. You have to, you know, take accountability for yourself and don't be fucking blaming other people for all your shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Own it.
So yeah. So Wim Hof, breathing, and then that kind of led me into. So my wife's doing Chinese medicine right now. She's well more versed in a lot of this stuff than I am. A lot of the stuff I'm talking about is my own research that I've read, and I've kind of just bringing to whoever's listening, yourself, Chugg.
Appreciate it. I'm soaking this up. I don't know about you guys, but I know I'm soaking it up.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's never like one thing that's going to put you where you want to be. It's a bunch of little things, a bunch of things that you put in your life, positive things that's going to put you where you want to be. So things that bring happiness to you, things that bring you joy or what have you, you start putting these things in your life and start trying to remove the negative things that are out of your control and try to push them away. And I'm not saying like bills and stuff. There's certain things you don't want to deal with in your life, but you have to deal with because it's a responsibility.
It's inevitable. Yeah.
But if you can start eliminating some of those things, like for me with like clothes, I reduced a lot of my clothes to like I used to have a lot of clothes. I'm sure most of us do, but I reduced a lot of them. I got rid of a lot of the stuff that I wasn't wearing, and I kind of just cycle through the same amount of clothes that I have now, which isn't a whole lot. And that's just one stressor. I don't have to worry about folding them. I don't have to worry about washing them. Not that I have to worry about washing them because my wife does all the laundry. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, but hey, I get it. I was able to live out of a rucksack, big book bag, and another little small book bag for like 9 months in Spain.
Yeah, man.
Two pair of shoes, like 3 pair of shorts, some shirts, maybe 1 pair of jeans. So I was like, I downsized so much when I separated from the military. It was crazy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing too. Like some of the stuff I haven't got rid of because just I'm holding not necessarily for sentimental value, but more like practical, like especially with everything going on, like in case shit hits the fan, I hold on to certain things. But if I don't need to hold on to it, like if I got like 1,000 socks and I only have like 12 now or something, you know what I mean? I'm okay, maybe I have like 20. But my point is, I don't have as many as I used to.
You got 1,000 socks and only 11 toes. Like, what you gonna do with that?
I don't know, man. I gotta have a sock for each toe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some big toes. So another, you can look this guy up on Instagram. His name's Brian McKenzie, and he talks a lot about nasal breathing. And there's a whole science to this. I don't want to say it's relatively new because I'm pretty sure there's older studies, but it's just coming to the forefront now. He gives his own thing about when he broke his neck. Like the whole thing, like what that went through his mind when it happened, how he didn't panic. He kind of knew it happened and kind of just became not necessarily okay with it, but he's kind of like, okay, it's going to lay here. And he just started like breathing through his nose. And then he went on this like 6-month rehabilitation where they told him like he was going to walk, probably not going to walk again. And through the course of like mental gymnastics, if you will, and kind of seeing the nerves kind of reconnect or whatever was wrong, and kind of like in a not mundane, but a more of a repetitive mindset of kind of seeing like he's going to walk again, and his body started rehabilitating. Long story short, he could walk again. But he shows like on his Instagram page, and I'll put a link on here. On his Instagram page, he showed like on one of them, he showed like an antelope that was either shot or bit by a tiger, got away or something. Not a tiger, a lion. I forgot what it was, but the antelope fell and it like collapsed. And it was in this hyper arousal state. And when the antelope fell, it immediately just kind of went into this like different gear of breathing, but it just like through its nose. And eventually it just got up and fucking like ran away. It like reset itself.
Like, yeah, I was just about to say, he just like reset. Hold up, girl.
Pretty much. Good. So I've been working on that. I've been working on just breathing through my nose. I can't do it right now because I'm speaking right now. So it's kind of hard to breathe through your nose when you're speaking. But when you like start talking, I stop and then I start breathing through my nose again. But I just heard and saw a recent podcast. And I'll put this guy's name in the link because I can't recall it right now. But he's talking about how he wrote a book about it, and he studied like kids from when they were younger, and like I believe he's an anthropologist, but if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself. But he talks about how mouth breathing actually, from a young child, will reconstruct your face and will, since your mouth is always open, your teeth don't know when to stop growing and where to go. So if you're constantly always have your mouth open, your jaw, there's a lot of pictures where your jaw will start growing like you'll have like an overbite and your jaw will be backwards because you're always breathing like that. So your jaw will start like receive, like your palate will start growing over it or something like that. But it pretty much I don't want to say disforms, but it reshapes your face, your skeletal structure. So even like with my nephew, my wife like makes sure he like reminds him, breathe through your nose. And it's kind of hard. He's a kid, but if you can get them in that habit young, then it will pay them dividends going forward, and it will. And there's a lot of research behind it where orthodontists now. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm kind of going off on a tangent. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, you can just be like, hey, breathe through your nose. Your teeth are gonna be huge.
Right. And he's still at the age now. He doesn't really. He's still like he's 2 years old, so he doesn't really converse back and forth. But there was an orthodontist. Yeah, I think he was talking about orthodontists, how they're gonna. They said like in 10 years, they're probably gonna look back on the practices that they've done over the past 30 years, and they're going to say like what a big disservice they've done to their patients over this time by Because if they would just address the nasal breathing at an early stage, if they were aware of that then so many people wouldn't need to have braces, retainers, all these other things that come along with it. Also, when you breathe through your mouth, you're like shallow breathe, so you're not using your full lung capacity. So there's a whole science. I'm just a fucking guy talking here.
Man, you're knowledgeable of it. It ain't like you just pulling it out of the air.
Well, I'm pulling out of the air out of somebody else's mouth, and I've been applying it to myself, and I've noticed these changes, so I've been applying them. So going back to cycling, the other day I was listening to a webinar that she was listening to regarding mouth breathing or nasal breathing, and they were talking about how in the 50s, Olympic athletes, there was a coach that used to have them, or coaches, they used to have these athletes drink water. Did I address this in the last podcast?
Nothing. You just addressed it to me personally.
Okay. So they would have them drink water, like a certain amount of ounces. Like, hey, here's 6 ounces of water. Drink it. Not drink it, but put it in your mouth. Run however amount of laps. And what that does, it makes you breathe through your nose. And when you're done, spit it back in this glass. I want to make sure you have the same amount. So that's it. That was pretty fresh in my mind when I went for a ride. It was towards the end of my ride. I was tired already, and it popped in my head. I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna try it." So I filled up my mouth with the water from my Camelback, and I rode about 3 or 4 miles just breathing through my nose. And I wasn't as winded. I mean, granted, I do ride a lot, but I wasn't as winded, and I was riding pretty hard. And that kind of goes to show that that's the way you're supposed to breathe, is through your nose. Okay, and then to add more positive side effects, just for a lack of a better way to describe it, for it is it also your nose has all these hairs in your nose, right? And these are natural air filters that are like crap. That's trap.
Sniffing crap.
Yes, they're specialized in sniffing crap. Anyways, but they catch like a bunch of things on your nostril hairs, and if you're always breathing through your mouth and you don't have that natural filter on your mouth, I'm not saying it's gonna keeping you from getting corona or whatever, but it's gonna keep you from getting a lot of things that you would normally just inhale from your throat and coughing and whatever, because you don't have those natural filters on your throat. At least I don't think you do. So.
I know I don't. I don't have like any hairs or small size cloth-like filters on my throat to block anything. I don't have any of that.
Right, and I don't either. At least not that I'm aware of. So these are just like little things that will, again, it's not just one thing. It's a bunch of things that will help you. Whether you're cycling, whether you're running, whether you're doing CrossFit, whatever. Like my wife, she does CrossFit still, and she does. With this Brian McKenzie, they put together a program, work exercise program, and it teaches how to go through like gears of breathing, and you implement those gears while you're doing your workout. So it's like the first part of your workout being gear 1. So it's like a certain tempo of breathing through your nose, and gear 2, and you go all the way to gear 4 or 5 or whatever it is. And you put those in practice during working out. I kind of started this like doing CrossFit a while back, but I was doing it more in the sense of controlling my breath. So I would like be working out, I'd be like, if anyone's done or just any rigorous activity, it doesn't have to be CrossFit. You're breathing your ass off. And what I would do is I would try to, and then slowly let my breath go, and then that would kind of control my heart rate and bring it down. And this applies to people with any type of anxiety, and I speak for myself, anxiety, PTSD, or anything like that. Those things, if you start implementing those things, will start helping you when you start getting into any kind of panic attacks or anything like that that you may suffer from nightmares or whatever. And these things, if you start applying all these things, physical activity, nasal breathing, again, eating right. We've talked about this before. Just eat out less. And with this whole corona, you should be cooking at home more anyways. Hopefully most people are.
I know I am.
Yeah, I am too.
a whole bunch of mystery meals going down over here.
There you go, man. I got I'm making beef stew right now, or like my version of it, beef stew. I've been wanting to make it for a while. I got it in the crock pot, and dude, and like we probably eat out like once, maybe twice a month. You know, I go grab tacos or something on the way for a ride because if I'm too lazy to make oatmeal or whatever. But they jack me up, dude. Like I start burping or I start farting more or stuff. You know what I mean?
I hate that. Like sometimes, pause. If I eat and I sit down in the restaurant, I have to deposit what I ate before I leave the restaurant. Sometimes it'd be that fast. Cause like,
and that's yeah. Go
terrible.
ahead.
It's terrible. It's just terrible.
And that's a strange thing too, because that's something I never realized when I was younger. Because I ate out so much, and I just ate whatever that came my way that I just thought it was normal. Like the way my stomach felt, the way I used the restroom, the amount of times I used the restroom, or as much gas I was out past. People were like, "Motherfucker, I don't want to hear you talk about your gas." You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? But
that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean that's. Once I started trying to like cooking for myself or cooking at the house, and then realizing what ingredients we're putting in, staying away from sugar. Sugar jacks me up, dude. I didn't realize how bad sugar would jack me up, but sugar jacks me up. If I drink a Dr. Pepper the next morning, dude, I'm sneezing like a mofo, dude. I'm sneezing. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard anybody sneezing from sugar.
Yeah, so that happens to me. It happens to, and most people that we talk to about it, and they started eliminating from their diet. And when I say sugar, I'm talking about fructose, dextrose, sucralose. They try to use all these different words to make it sound like something different, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's sugar. I mean, granted,
yeah.
If you're gonna do sugar, I'd rather you do like real sugar, like. Not like sucralose or fructose or dextrose or any of the other ones that they come with. Corn syrup is bad, and this is all I would call bullshit and all this stuff before. But like whatever, I do whatever the fuck I want. Blah blah blah.
I used to be like that. Oh.
I know, man, but you don't know till you know.
Cast iron stomach. I used to be like, I got a cast iron stomach. I can eat anything.
Not
anymore. No,
yeah,
sir.
And that's the thing too. I don't think it's like not anymore. I think it's always been a reality, but we were so young and always on the go, especially being in the military, that we didn't have time to process these symptoms, and we didn't have time. We definitely weren't going to talk about them. You know what I mean?
True.
I mean, we'll probably be like, "Oh, I need to blow something up" or whatever. You know what I mean? Like using the restroom. But other than that, you're not really going to address it any more than that, or even be aware of it or acknowledge it like on your own level. Because you said, what did you say? I had to steal.
Oh, cast iron stomach.
Cast iron stomach. I couldn't eat anything.
Yeah.
So.
But now, Code 6 Bravo, anywhere I go.
Yeah. So, are you gonna do any writing today? Like, what happened with your derailleur? Did you ever end up getting that fixed?
So, amongst what you discussed, so I'm pretty much sure that I cut it too short.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got to get a whole new cable and reroute it again.
So next time, before you cut it, get it to the length where it's at, like where you want it, and it's shifting off like nice and wherever you want it to, or the way it should, indexing. And then when you're done, then cut it, and then put the little nipple on, or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah. Yeah, but until then, I'm back on my faithful handy dandy, and then me and my riding soft skin friend they rent a bike when we go riding now.
So how did that ride go? You didn't even let me know. Did y'all go on that ride after all? And how did they feel about it?
They almost fell, but they didn't fall, and we're going on another ride. So that means it went awesome.
That's good, man. That's good.
Yeah.
That's like what I tell people, man. It's like being a kid again. I mean, even if you're not doing the trails, you don't have to do jumps or any of that stuff. But just getting on a bike and that basic practice of just being on a bike. I don't know. For me, that's what it does. And most people I speak with, that's what they say as well is kind of like, it's like, man, I haven't been on a bike since I was a kid. But then when they're riding, you see that big old smile on their face,
I've never seen anyone frowning riding the bike.
Unless they crash.
Yeah, unless they crash and then they get on it. Yeah. But when they're moving, let me rephrase that. When they're moving, I've never seen anyone frowning.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, what? I know you were talking about what game were you watching earlier?
Oh, Portland and Memphis. It went into overtime. I'm not even sure who won. I cut it off because I didn't want to mess up the connection. I think that was messing the connection up as well too with the Fire Stick. So.
Hey, did they play in Portland or did they play in Memphis?
They play in Florida down there in the bubble. All the teams are down in Florida, cohabitating with each other, doing their thing. I
figured that would be like more of a, but I guess they're probably they got so much money, they're getting tested every day. It's not really a big deal. And if they've had it, then I assume they have the antibodies. There's a lot of speculation on whether or not people could get re-sick for this, but this doesn't make any sense to me unless the virus were to mutate or something. But I hope that's not the case, because there's gonna be a lot of people who are like, we're gonna be screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it is gonna mutate, because once you get it the first time, it's just like the flu. You're gonna be a little bit less,
susceptible.
Yeah, to die from it, or not to die, but to have adverse effects. So your body's gonna build, a little bit immune to it, but just hope for the best.
Yeah, man, hope for the best.
Eat right, exercise. Watch your intake, strap up if you're out there doing what you got to do, There
you go. And going back to, like, one of the things when we talked beforehand, we were talking about discover what your why is. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I working out? Why do I want to work out? Why do I want to cycle? Why do I want to eat right? Once you identify what your why is, and there's a book about it, I think it's like Identify Your Why, or and I'll put a link on that as well.
Finding your why.
Yeah, finding your why. Once you find out why am I doing this? Am I doing it for my kids? Am I doing it for myself? I mean, the overall goal is to do it for yourself. But if you not in a place to do it for yourself, then you can find somebody else to do it for. But know that they shouldn't always be the reason why, and like why you're doing it for them, because people will fail you 9 times out of 10. And this is human nature. We're not perfect. You know what I mean? You could be the best person.
Everybody's standards are different.
So once you find that why, and then you find that why for, like, you can use them as a temporary rung to get to like where you're trying to get, like to be fit or to be healthy or to whatever is the case. Especially in today's climate, you if you find that why, like a big one, like I don't want to die, that's a big one. I mean. That's kind
right
of
here. This guy, yes.
So put the things back, like do your research. Exactly. There you go. Woo, gun show. Do your research. Put the power back in your hand. Try to identify what things you can do to raise your immune system. We talked about some of these things. If you don't believe what we're saying, that's fine. Go do your own research. That's fine. And like, you don't have to. I'm not a doctor. I just.
Hey, but what works for us, it might not work for everybody else, though. So
exactly.
You gotta find your why and find what works for you.
Yep. If you want to be the best pool player, around, whether pocket pool or regular pool,
Just make sure you got using the right sticks. Make sure you
gotta use the right sticks. You can injure yourself. So like, find out what that why is, and then just get after it. Set small goals. Attain those goals little by little. Get to just those small goals will get you to your big goal. And once, but identifying your why, because your why is important, because when shit gets tough and you get lazy, because that's kind of human nature. You get lazy. Your body wants to be efficient. It doesn't want to do certain things because it wants to preserve whatever energy you have.
And then that's when you fall off.
Yep, and it's a slippery slope too. Once you fall off, it's hard to get back on that horse. But if you know what your why is, then you can always go back to like this is the reason why I'm doing it for. I'm not gonna let up because this is like once because if you're just doing it for because I want to look like if you're doing it for somebody else because you just want to look better for them, that's gonna fail every time.
That's
I mean,
that's shallow. It has no real value in my mind. It don't really have no value.
yeah, it'll get you started, but it's not gonna sustain you. I don't feel
No.
so. Well, either way,
the passion really won't be there because it ain't really what you want to do or that person really wants to do.
exactly. So I don't know. Take it, leave it, whatever. But
Soak it in, write it down, make a voice memo. I don't give up.
what is it? Flip it, slap it, rub it down, flip it, slap it. I don't
Twist
remember.
it.
It's old. It was
Bop it, pull it.
I was listening to. I've been watching a lot of Dave Chappelle lately. I love like his messages within his comedy. That dude's badass. But he was talking about how when he's on a phone call with like execs or what have you, it was one of his stand-ups. He says he likes to just say shit just to kind of throw him off, and like he would say like random stuff that's not even a saying. Just like one of the phone calls he was on, he was talking to exec and like, oh yes, Dave Chappelle, we're gonna do this, blah blah blah, and it sound good. And he's like, yep. He's like, zip it up and zip it out. And then he's like,
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
All right, zippity doo dah, and he like hung up or whatever. So
I know exactly. Man, I'm an avid Dave Chappelle follower.
yeah, dude, I am too. Actually, dude, you know, I'm not even following him on Instagram. I need to follow him. Is he on Instagram? I wouldn't be surprised if he's not.
No,
Yeah.
not really.
If honest, like if I wasn't doing what I'm doing like for what I'm doing it for, like then I wouldn't probably be on social media either. Definitely not as engaged as I am. And sometimes I have to take a break from it because I don't like it to control me. I don't like the idea that I'm always on my phone or always on the laptop or whatever. Because I spend a lot of time like
you gotta have that balance. You gotta step back and be like, all right, this is consuming too much of my real person time.
And I've seen that with other people, and I'm not judging by any means, but I can see because I believe Twitter and a few other apps when they were originally designed, they were designed to keep people's attention. So they had like psychologists and scientists develop it in such a way where the dings and these little things will like raise your dopamine levels. So every time you hear that,
triggers, it's the triggers.
Exactly. So it's almost like setting like people don't have a chance. I'm just saying, like if you're not aware of it, you don't have a chance. And I've seen couples go through some bad shit, like or just arguments because their significant other is always on the phone. And I really try not to do that. I really try to just take breaks from it. Sometimes I leave my phone upstairs, or I'll not even have it in the house. I'll leave it in the car sometimes, just because. And I don't do that all the time because of emergencies, but sometimes I have to do it because I just want a break from it. I don't want to have to be tempted to go to it or anything like that. I don't have a laptop open, and sometimes I don't even watch TV. I just kind of just do whatever. And I need to start reading more. That's why I need to start reading. There's some books I need to finish, so I'm definitely going to try to do that. But
I've been shifting, alternating different DIY YouTubes on trying to fix the derailleur to learning different techniques on my 6-string and working on my golf swing.
So look up Wim Hof next time you're on YouTube. Actually, I'll send you some links after I'm done.
All right, cool.
Have I sent them to you before?
I don't believe so, no.
So I think I have. I think I sent one to you. You probably just deleted it.
Probably.
You're like, fuck that guy. You don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know what that means. I'm not in that video. I'm not looking at it.
So like Wim Hof is a good, and like I said, man, YouTube is like I see YouTube with selected videos because you can watch. There's a lot of shit on YouTube too, that will just kind of you just after you're done watching it, you feel dumber. You know what I mean? It's like I think we're all dumber from watching it. Like I just lost like 5 minutes of my life, and I'm never gonna get that back.
Yeah, I try not to watch videos of those sorts.
Right.
You can't get time back. That's one thing you can't get back, and you can't unsee things.
Yeah, time is our only true currency, man. That's the only thing that's worth anything, really. Because I mean, we've talked about this before, but like, and I gotta find that damn book. Millionaires on their deathbed, what they say, and one of the things they don't say, or wealthy people, is they wish they had more money. They say they wish they had more time spent with family and stuff like that.
Mm.
Anywho,
so value your time, not your money. There, world.
Yep. And sometimes it's hard, man. It's definitely hard, but you have to be aware of it first. If you're not aware of it, then it ain't gonna do shit because you're just gonna get caught up, swept with the current, swept with the tide.
Yeah,
But
being a sheep.
Yep, bigger sheep. But all right, man. Well, do you have anything else that you wanted to cover? Like, we've been on here for about a minute, 9 minutes.
We done hit pretty much everything that I've written down.
Sweet. Well, man, I think we got some good information out. Hey, guys, if you have any suggestions, as always, please hit us up in the comments if you want us to discuss anything or would like us to go. And it doesn't always have to be about mountain biking. I kind of want this channel, or not necessarily this channel, but like the videos and stuff will 9 times out of 10 will be about mountain biking. But with this podcast, I want to be able to open it up to discuss other things as well, not just mountain biking. If you notice in the last video, I put M.T.B. That's like also it's like a pseudonym, which is mountain biking. Mountain biking is short for that, but it's also more than biking. So it's kind of like it gives us that exactly
that avenue to go down a rabbit holes.
Yep. Because I like to discuss other things as well. I'm sure you do as well. And we kind of navigated some different areas there. You like how I got little hand gestures and stuff. But I appreciate you guys joining us for episode 10. Next episode, we're gonna try to get a guest on. It's been kind of hard lately. I know we left the one of the videos hanging when we're talking about just equal rights and equality amongst everyone. And it's kind of hard to get the other side of the argument when, the other side doesn't, not in a place to either talk about it or they just don't want to talk about it because they're still active. And I'm talking about, police officers or what have you, which I still have. Majority of them, the good ones, I still have a lot of first responders. I have a huge amount of respect for a lot of the good ones, and there are shitty ones. Just like, it's just people. People are can be shitty in general. And there's real quick before I let you go, there's a video you gotta watch, a movie. It's called The Stanford Experiment on Netflix. And it talks about power. It's crazy. But anyways, or if you guys, movie of the week, the Stanford Experiment on Netflix. Check that out if you kind of want to get into the human psyche on what we as humans, how we react when we're put in certain parameters. Pretty crazy. If you've seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. But thanks for joining us for episode 10. We'll have episode 11 next week. If all things stay true, you stay safe, man. Be careful out there, especially delivering those packages. Do what you need to do to stay, covered up or what have you. And yeah, man, take care.
All right, man. Till the next time.
All right, man. Out.
Cracking.